I have a serious gnat problem. Unfortunately, there are so many, and I disturbed them yesterday because I sprayed stuff. They are now attacking me. They are getting in my paint. They are getting in my painting. They're finding themselves drowning in there. I don't know really what to do.
Welcome to my channel.
This week I'm diving into the next painting of my 2026 art collection, and I'm so pumped to show you that behind the scenes process, except I'm not sure how I'm gonna make it happen. There's a lot of unknowns about this painting on just the technique side of things. This one is just has a lot of expression in it, and I need to make sure that the water is gonna do what I want it to do, and that is the main just unknown of it all. I mean, that's kind of what makes watercolor so exciting, right? So I'm gonna be taking you behind the scenes on the making of this painting, and you're gonna watch me struggle and conquer this watercolor painting. Okay, so this is what it looks like right now. And this is just a drawing on tracing paper, and then I'll just kind of press this into the surface, and it will leave a graphite print, and it'll be ready to watercolor on top. I plan to do a natural color tone for his hands. That way it's light and airy and kind of matches in the pastels of this rainbow that I plan to do. So that means, as I bust out my watercolors, we'll have a Naples yellow and cadmium red. We'll have this, once again, Capo Mortuum violet. I should really look up how to say this. And, ultramarine blue. And I'll get to the rainbow portion after I get my hands drawn, because that'll help me pick out my colors. All right, let's get started. I have to remind myself that I'm on this clayboard again. It's gonna require a few layers. Okay, so right now the idea is to just kind of go through and paint each of these hands as is in kind of their solid form, and then I'll go through and mess it up. It'll look like me kind of just taking a wet brush and trying to just blur them. I have no idea if this is actually gonna work. So trial and error. Before I get too carried away in the painting, I did have an idea. My original plan was to keep the background rather just plain, natural white as it is. However, I kind of thought it would be fun if we I just got interrupted with a phone call, but it was important. So let's get back to the art. What I was saying was it'd be super cool if I kind of developed the background a little bit more rather than just keeping it blank, and maybe put in some graphite pencil markings and math. I know, math and art, but do some financial equations and things, especially of what it relates to. And there's a lot I could go into, but that's a story for another day, and that is the inspiration of this painting, paying it forward. But yeah, I think that'd be just a really nice emotional tie-in for me, something that's very personal, and I'll probably add it before I get super carried away with the painting. I kind of put some watermarks on the background along with these graphite markings. I accidentally got a watermark here, but instead of taking it out, which I could have easily done on panel board, I liked the way this looked, and it kind of added to some of the imperfections of my board anyway. So I was like, well, what the heck? Let's add to it. I think the next step is going to be dragging some of this color through the hands to give it kind of that blur motion. And then I will continue with the rainbow. And if you notice, my hands are in primary colors, rather muted. So the rainbow is also going to be muted and kind of pale. And so I'm going to be doing a reverse rainbow. So the fingertips being the red and then it carrying up through the colors. I will come back through and detail the hands. So the reason why I'm saving the details for last, because I usually do those in darker colors, is because I don't want to drag all of this dark color through my hands and then muddying everything else. So yeah, good tip. This one turned out exactly how I hoped, and even with some added textures and that graphite that's kind of hidden in the background, it looks really cool. All right, what do y'all think? Thanks again for joining me in the making of my 2026 art collection. I am so pleased with how this one turned out, and I am going to be starting on a new painting, so it'll be a total of the 6 that I have planned. Now let me show you what that one's going to look like. This was the very first painting that I did called Time, and I'm giving it a sibling. This one will have 2 hands, it'll be a little bigger, but it'll still have the fun textured sand that's going on. It'll have a similar background, and I cannot wait to show you what that one's gonna look like, so stick around. That might be the next video or in the next. I have to prep the background and do the drawing, so definitely stick around and I'll have something for you next week.
Thank you for watching.